Let's move on to the market. Yesterday, and I kept talking about this one step forward, one step backward, almost on a daily basis. That's what we've seen for the last couple of weeks on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, the reading. So yesterday, well, we came back 0.1%. The index just got a bit of a blip, as it were. Nothing really significant. We added a few billions in terms of the equity cap. That's your primary market reading. A little gentle push on the composite index, push it back to 40,802 for the second trading day of the week. In volume, transaction, and deals, and naira value, let's flip that over and show you what the figures look like. In volume terms, it was 246.57 million. That's down from about 53% from the volume we saw when we started the week. We traded about $500 million. On Monday, that figure came down by about 53.5% on Tuesday to just about 246.57 million ordinary shares. For naira value, that also declined by close to 60% to about the 3.22 billion naira. On Monday, we came in with about 6.6 billion in naira value. In terms of deals, we're a little bit consistent in that 4,918 deals on the markets here for the stock exchange. Then if we just move on and check through with the 5 primary subsectors of the market that we track for you here on a daily basis, and this is where we spend about a minute or two. The banking sector was up about 0.5%, thanks to Zenith Bank, whose shares went up 2.57%. Investors still pricing that stock due to its very significant earnings that was reported over the last couple of weeks in the month under review. And of course, we're ending this month in the next 3 days. So we've got about 3 sessions before they will come to the end of April, and the first month in Q1, as it were. It's still in the banking sector. The FBNH didn't move any needle yesterday, but in terms of volume, contributed about 20 million to the entire space. Then you have the consumer goods, which was also on track by about 0.75%. Investors priced some of those stocks a little bit higher on the second trading day. Then we'll go to the industrial goods, where investors are still upset with Lafarge Africa. That stock went down almost 1%, 0.8%, with 2 billion naira net loss in the first quarter, and reporting a negative earnings per share and return on assets employed in the quarter under a review. WAPCO, as you heard yesterday, will be asking shareholders for additional 100 billion naira on May the 16th, when it holds its annual shareholders meeting here in Lagos. That will be one major item for the shareholders of this struggling cement maker to consider in just about 3 weeks from now, when they meet and see where Lafarge Africa go from here. Lafarge also promised, however, that its earnings before interest, taxes, amortization, and depreciation for 2018 will be north of 35%. That news came in about 2 weeks ago. Just a reminder. So if you want to ask and you put in the numbers together for Lafarge Africa, put that in your box. But that sector was down 0.38%, dragged down largely by WAPCO. Investors are still, however, digesting Dangote Cement, very robust, nearly 110 billion net profit for the first quarter of the year. Sorry, that's a pre-tax profit, 108.4 billion naira, year-on-year figure. Okay, let's move on to insurance. That's sitting in the water, 0.38%. What happened in insurance? I think Continental Insurance was down about 4.82% on Tuesday. Yeah, that's it. That's dragged that sector in the negative direction, as their cousins went in the green, the banks, 0.5%. Oil and gas was good. For the second day, we saw the strong hand of integrated energy trader Forte Oil posting 10.18%. That's quite aggressive for that company, and pushing that space to a positive territory. So let's just move on to the check through with the oil and gas and see there bit of the closing numbers. Corn oil showed a red hand with 4.93 for about 4.73% at that figure. I guess there's a little problem there. Sorry, that's not 73 something. That should be 33.45. Then you have 40 oil, 39.30, up by 10.18%, almost 2 million ordinary shares. Double one was unchanged. MRA was also unchanged. Oando got a bit of a little haircut, nearly 5%, 4.69. The price finished off at ₦9.15. And look at the volume. That's big, almost 15.3 million ordinary shares. Seplat was quiet on the day, Total and Eternal Oil, but we got Japol down to 51 kobo, off track 3.92%, and the volume also very strong, 12.297 million ordinary shares. Let's round this off somehow with the fixed income market, where investors' appetite is still very strong despite the decline in yield in the curve for treasuries. But secondary trading at the FMDQ OTC Securities Exchange on Tuesday was very sluggish than how we finished last week, and we started this week with triple digits. We did just about 75.5 billion. But where the story really is the second column, when you look at the yield curve, now coming down very strong to now 10.65%, 11.11%, 11.5, and 10.8 for those most actively traded four treasuries by volume and by deals on Tuesday. And finally, we're looking at the bond market. The Naira bond, 19.6 billion in total. The story around the bond is where you see that. You can see most of the activities there are among the long-dated instruments, that the 18th of July 2034 and 18th of April year 2037. Now you can see the price there in Naira. 95 Naira for that, that's a price high, and 124.05 for that. But in volume terms, investors are buying long as we speak, as they try to lock in a future value as they see interest rates declining in the Nigeria securities market. Part of these conversations we'll have later on the program. So we're going to take a very quick break, and we continue to track the first anniversary of the investors and exporters FX window, which the Central Bank of Nigeria enthroned on the 24th of April last year. It's been 12 months, 365 days of the new FX market. That has been a game changer, and folks were asking, when are we talking about the equity side of the I&E? We'll talk a little bit about the fixed income market today, and later we'll get to hear more some analysts' perspectives on Dangote Cement. In the news, the change of the board, well, addition of new members to the board. What is Dangote Cement really getting up to? And its first quarter earnings, we'll get that at about 10:30. So stick around. You're watching Business Morning.